Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the San Francisco...
All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Jets. Two one-loss teams set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. First down, Rivers. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. They'll go with the ground attack here. And he goes across the 20 to the 22. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have to contend with a 3rd and 13.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
3rd and long for Rivers. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And a little spin cycle, room to run now. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, 49ers. A big play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Niners have taken the early lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Jets offense, they get ready to head back onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you go lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Malcolm Smith not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Rivers. And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. Would be ideal.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
And he'll be brought down at about the 42. The tackle by Tremaine Johnson.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short game.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Henry Anderson, big man from Stanford, there for the stop.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, you can't really hide him. With the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, looking pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. 49ers with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Now the Georgia Southern man. This is Jerick McKinnon. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Jerick McKinnon, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the 49ers add on to their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. New York set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now, that's a defensive coordinator's nightmare right there. You're covering everyone, and the guy's not even the intended receiver ends up making the play.
Right place, right time, I guess.
When that ball's tipped up in the air like that, you've got to go up and get it. Offense and defense, and in this case, the offense ended up grabbing it.
That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Let's go! White 90!
Working out of the gun, Rivers. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Throwing again. Rivers on 2nd and 10. Now a hit, and Rivers lost the football. And this is going to be 49er football.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Skirts by at the 15, and he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
He'll get it up the middle. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. An extra defensive back on the field here for 3rd and goal. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, but they do keep him out of the end zone, and now it's 4th down.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score one touchdown, you're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got one, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
They run for it with Breida, and he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
On 2nd down, Rivers again. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. The 49ers getting set to trot out there. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup. Well, they're making a real first quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Marquise Goodwin, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the 49ers add on to their lead. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What do you know?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success. You know who else gets into a rhythm? The offensive line. They feel better about what they're doing when they know they've had multiple opportunities to get it done.
Yeah, well, the conclusion we can draw so far, they're losing here in the second quarter. Let's see if they change tunes. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
2 straight 4-yard runs, and it is steadily working the ball downfield. To me, they're staying right on schedule. First down, you want 4 yards or more to set up the rest of the drive.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. There's Dante Pettis as his guys head back out onto the field. Not only does he not have a catch, I don't think he's been targeted in this game, but they're winning.
And if you ask a receiver of his magnitude, he'll tell you that it's because everyone is focused on him anyway. Okay, you've taken it away. No catches, no targets, but we're still winning. I've opened things up for the rest of my team. I know how receivers think.
They've been using him as a decoy, and effectively so.
So while the offense has had a big day, no one on that side of the ball is excited about seeing a loss like that. Their goal, to make every play positive And when you have a bad one like that, your next goal is to not let it spiral into more. And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards.
Leopard! Detroit!
They'll drop the throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 23 yards on the play.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A big chunk of yardage there, 37 yards.
Now, that was a big run. It takes them all the way down to the 1-yard line, and that'll shake the confidence of any defense. So when they're looking for a little bit of support now, looking at their defensive coordinator, if I'm him, I dial up some pressure. I just go after them because otherwise you're still playing back on your heels, and that's not going to help your defense at all.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
And that loss of yards there is not just on him. It's on the guys blocking for him. I mean, they're supposed to create some type of space or at least get a stalemate. They end up letting them through.
And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game, 3 first-half touchdowns. And the 49ers, they're just pouring it on. This is becoming quite the half he's had here.
Remember in our pregame meetings, they talked about wanting to run the football and staying with it? Well, when you're scoring this many touchdowns, there's no reason to go away from it, is there? They are off to a fantastic start. They hope it continues.
3 already for it. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you've got a chance to come back to him when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Well, still time for him here as we sit in the 2nd quarter. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction. He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile. Stop.
Now a hit, and Rivers lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So not only did they get the fumble recovery on the punt, but now look at this field position. He almost took it the distance.
And the ability to not just make the play, but turn it into something big, that's what coaches harp on all the time. How do we create big plays that'll change the game? And that may have been one that just did.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. No gain on the play there, and they're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal.
Here we go. Brad 38. Brad 38. Hut.
3rd and goal for Rivers. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to MetLife Stadium after this short timeout. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his 2nd week of the regular season. And his kick is indeed good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. Might he be on his way to a record-setting performance here, Charles? 2nd quarter, and the yardage number already ridiculous.
And they always talk about just focusing on the next play, but sometimes it's okay to dream big because
they're focusing on the 4th quarter already.
Listen, I don't blame you, though, because we could be witnessing Seeing some type of history here, and it's being done by him and, of course, the big guys up front who are creating the holes for him to run through.
Yeah, they've all been good so far.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Here's Breida. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. Kayvon Webster there to make the tackle.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. It's Big Vince Williams who made the tackle.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And this is incomplete. The intended receiver, Marquise Goodwin, and it's 3rd down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. He'll drop to throw. Open man is Pettis. It's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And his throw here is incomplete. Kayvon Webster on the defensive side able to get a hand in.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the 1st half.
Let's go. Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Gun!
They go play action here on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And before the 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
No. Check. Patriot.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. That is caught at the 7. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. It's the 49ers out in front, and they will get the football first as well as we are back and started in the 2nd half. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. They had a big 1st half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the 2nd half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the 1st half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Detroit! Hey, boys, got four down.
Back to throw now on first down. And incomplete. Kayvon Webster on the defensive side able to get a hand in.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's going to look deep down the field. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending the guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. Looking for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Watch him now, Barney!
They'll run it now out of the gun. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Check, Patriot!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And this is going to be intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Rivers. And the Niners get there and bring him down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
They just can't wait right now. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
They run once more with McKinnon. And he's across the 43 extra yards to the 43. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop it. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Matthias Farley. Schwab, there he goes, left side. And it's a touchdown for the Jets. I don't know who all is to blame there, but I love seeing pick sixes.
Nothing like seeing someone pluck it out of the air and go the other way and see people try to change directions. Hard to do.
Point after, right down the middle. And that will cut this lead down to 25. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
After the pick six, they go right back to the air. Over the middle to Smith. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and you can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
The Niners on 3rd down. They have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Now back to throw. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. John Simon with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And this is incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Jets are going to get the football here in great field position. And now the 49ers signal for a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. And they'll run it here. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. From the gun, Rivers. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. The intended receiver that time, Adam Humphries. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his back. And nowhere to get away. Rivers is dropped. Eric Armstead breaking through to get him for a loss of 7.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Rivers. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide
nowhere to go here, he lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
And all this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one goes for 36 yards.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that. But a lot of those...
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But an alert 49er able to gain possession, so they will indeed hold on to the pigskin. Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill, or the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground. Whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Oh, he slipped right by. Touchdown, 49ers. A big play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Hey, here we go.
Here's Peterson as they begin on the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Rivers now on 2nd down. He gets it to Humphreys. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. There's Dante Pettis as his guys head back out onto the field. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Mike Pennell continuing to fight downfield. The big tackle gets him for a loss of 11.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
They'll set up a throw. And he's going to go down again. John Simon getting him once again, his third sack of the afternoon.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Looking to throw. Throw right side, taken in by Pettis. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Watch it now, Barney.
They're going to run. It's McKinnon. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
You get the 4th down conversion, and then you look up and you see a flag.
I'm just holding my head in my hands right now because I know the head coach is doing exactly the same thing. It all went into getting it on 4th down, and that gets wiped out.
Over. Watch it now, Barney.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Marcus May with a pick. And they will finally run him down, but not until he brings this one all the way back down inside the 10-yard line. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Every team we ever talk to that continues to run the ball in a game, even when they haven't had much success, all talks about attrition, don't they? If you keep running it, eventually good things are likely to happen. It's been a hard go in this game today, hasn't it?
Yeah, this defense, they've met pretty much every challenge in front of them this afternoon. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jets capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. And the 49er hands team does its job. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
On the toss, it's McKinnon. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Right back to him on first down. Finding room to the 20. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. Jerick McKinnon, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the 49ers add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. New York set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for it.
And nowhere to get away. Rivers is dropped.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Rivers now. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Throwing Rivers. And he coughs up the football near his own goal line. And this is going to be 49er football.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. The defense gets him the ball via the turnover. Now can this offense cash in? First and goal. Toss play to McKinnon. And he'll take this into the end zone for a San Francisco touchdown. Jerick McKinnon taking it in. And the Niners take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Did you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Jets offense gets ready to head back on the field. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, man, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. So word against him.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And they will score. It's a 49er touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick six makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what are you doing when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Jets offense about set to take over as they head onto the field. And they gave up the pick six, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go around? And down he goes. The 49ers get there.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that moment. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, third and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you're doing a big way, and what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him. I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it. Somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Now they'll run it on the toss. And some space here. And they will finally get him down, and now penalty flags coming in as well. And they might get half the distance here to boot.
Face mask. Defense.
They're down here in the fourth, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
Now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Now McKinnon. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Things are rocking easy here in the fourth quarter. They've got to feel pretty good about this one. Actually, they've got to feel excellent. Tough loss in the opener. No way they wanted to go 0-2.
I don't want to read too much into it, but psychologically, is there something much bigger about 0-2 than 0-1?
Oh, without a doubt, and here's the biggest one. Guys like you and me, all the media, are going to talk about, well, you know how hard it is to make the playoffs when you start 0-2, and that starts to work its way through a team.
And now they're working towards 1-1. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. New York set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him?
And nowhere to get away. Rivers is dropped.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult.
And the pressure gets to him again. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. To throw is Rivers. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one's over.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. The Niners on third down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is third down and 12. Back to throw. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's first and 10 just outside the 30.
Detroit! Over! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
That one looks like he'll throw here. This is caught. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that. But there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I'll guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, getting the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches, be honest, don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A good pick up there of 20 yards. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying,